studios in New York, it's UConn Live with Chris LaGrange. News, talk, sports, and workforce politics. The loudest, strongest, and most controversial labor news show on, in, and around the internet. Now here's your host, Chris LaGrange.
Union leaders at the post office are claiming that the sorting of equipment is being removed. Lowe's has a new slogan, never stop union busting. The big box retailer is looking to hire a full-time workforce terrorist. Fuck them. Yes, we can. Uncle Joe picks Kamala Harris to help restore our nation back to respectability. The Teamsters are on strike in Kentucky. The Mets are on a roll, and Big Ten and Pac-12 have suspended the upcoming season. What's up, everybody? UConn Live with me, Chris LaGrange. News, talk, sports, workforce, politics, the most controversial labor news show on, in, and around the internet. 3 people clap. All right, we brought back from quarantine, Mr. Jimmy Highland. Jimmy! Welcome back, buddy. Thank you. Jimmy's got tons of notes, and he's not going to be able to get one line off. Know-it-all frickin' Brian is here as well to talk when I don't want to. Ding Dong is running around. I need my work back, buddy. Thank you. And James, always handsome, always intelligent. James, the backbone of what we do here.
Keep saying that, I'll never leave.
I know. Well, I think you never leave because I cut you checks too.
That too.
If you want to help me keep doing that, somehow figure out a way to give us money. Do we have a donate button?
We have a Patreon.
We have a Patreon. Do we really?
Yes.
Anyone ever give to it?
No. But if you could, please give to it.
My deli ran out of Red Bull, so I'm drinking Starbucks double shot espresso.
Oh, no.
Shit in a can. I have irritable bowel syndrome.
You're probably seeing in the future,
yeah, I'm going to be on a break soon. Oh!
Hello, Miss Lady.
All right, so listen. Union leaders at the post office are saying that that they're taking away their sorting equipment.
Yes.
Jimmy, do you hear about my fight with my mailman?
No, tell me about the fight with your man. Was
Listen
it
to
physical?
the last. No. I hope not. He's kind of like husky,
Yeah.
and once he gets on top of me and farts on me, that's it.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to out-talk him then.
No, he's dumb. He's a trumper. Stupid fuck. But anyway, his union leaders somewhere in the middle of nowhere said that their sorting equipment is being taken away. This was leaked by Salon, which is a well-funded version of UConn blog that writes about. They have like a labor reporter, right?
Yeah. They write about a whole host of sort of political lefty issues.
Where is this story? Here it is. Oh, you wrote
Page 3.
Verbatim. Hello, people on Insta. It's being removed by the Postal Service, as well as a bunch of other crap. Their top donor to the Trump administration, DeJoy. Is that how am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking piece of shit. And Schumer said that, and so did President Pelosi. Soon to be President Pelosi.
Well, hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's President Uncle Joe, and yes, we can. We believe that these changes. Who's quoted this?
This is, I think, Kimberly Carroll, the head of the Iowa Postal Workers Union.
Oh, they have a statewide.
Oh, actually, no. That's the letter that Schumer and Pelosi wrote to DeJoy. Sorry.
So DeJoy,
the next one's
DeJoy, who probably just got it and threw it away. They said that we don't believe that what you're doing is good.
Yeah.
And DeJoy then said, and then the union said, that's news reporting here. Tell the story behind the story, know it all.
Yeah, so in Iowa, the Postal Workers Union is saying that the Postal Service is taking away their mail sorting machines. So they're already behind, and by losing those machines, basically, they're going to get further and further behind. People should care because Iowa has now become a swing state. And
was it red before?
It voted for Obama, and then it voted for Trump. Now it's very close.
They're all types of confused there. It's Jimmy, is the entire state of Iowa senile?
No, they all got their heads in their farmland.
And they're corn huskers, right?
Yeah.
Or is that Nebraska?
That's Nebraska.
What's Iowa?
They eat the wrong.
The black eyes? The the Hawkeyes?
The Hawkeyes, yeah.
Whatever. Continue.
And so, if they're doing it in Iowa, they're probably doing it in other states.
They are doing it in other states.
And we know some states like Pennsylvania are already seeing...
The union head says, I don't see this as a cost-saving measure. I see this as to undermine the public confidence in the mail service. This is her, continue with her quote, forget that Chris LaGrange's mailman's a fucking moron in New York. It's not saving us. We are spending more time trying to implement changes and in our office costing more overtime. And Chris LaGrange's mailman's a retard. Boy, how do they know that in Iowa? But this concerns me, folks, only because, we all have dumb mailman stories, and to then take away their mail sorting machine, start making excuses for them, and to put the entire election in the hands of these folks is incredibly dangerous.
Well, and Trump said today that he's holding up a new coronavirus stimulus bill because Democrats want funding for the Postal Service. And if he holds that up, he said he's going to be able to restrict mail-in voting. Yeah. So it's very clear what DeJoy is trying to do here.
Yeah, well, very clear what Trump is trying to do. DeJoy is just his little bitch, or his master. I mean, he pays him. He paid him for that crappy job.
Well, DeJoy has him and his wife have tens of millions of dollars in other mail delivery and package delivery companies. So, he wants to see the Postal Service suffer for his own good as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in privatizing the Postal Service. I believe in postal reform like most good educated people. After what I've experienced with my guy and my run-ins with my postmaster, if you will, they hand that title out like fucking Skittles in a Marshawn Lynch camp. They need better management from the top down. And that all happens with the incoming presidency. Somebody that's going to modernize it, give the union the tools they need to retain good workers. The fact that they have members that are just worn out too, those who have alternative motives for not delivering the mail, for breaking the law, it makes them hard to retain good stewards and run an efficient workforce. So President Biden and Vice President Harris hopefully can do something when they come in to ensure this never happens again. But it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess.
It seems to me somebody should be able to figure something out when the Constitution itself explicitly says that the post office is part of the Constitution. Yeah. Somebody, a court of law should be able to clear this up.
But Jimmy, you're talking common sense. The Trump voter doesn't care about the Constitution. It's like a Yankee fan. Yankee fans are not baseball fans. Yankee fans are Yankee fans. So go the Yankees, so go baseball. So are these idiot backward Trump voters. But they think that whatever Trump does is because it doesn't negatively affect them until a cop knees on their neck.
But the Trump
voters, they care about what's going on in this country.
The Trump backup, those voters aren't going to bring this to a court of law.
Well, I mean, by the time it gets to the law, there tens of thousands of people will be dead in the streets because of what this man's bringing us down to. If he doesn't vacate that White House when he wins, do you think that those Michigan militia guys with bad dental and big guns are going to lay down their arms? No, they're gonna come to New York, and shoot me.
Well, maybe their teeth will fall out.
First, we'll have a viral video. What do you think, James? It wasn't me. It was the CIA. Looked like the Lee Harvey Oswald video.
Don't make me laugh. I'm trying to press buttons back here.
I know. He's like, leave me alone. I'm trying to do a good show. All right. What other crap with this story here? Nothing. That's it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. She warned that the agency leaders were trying to circumvent rules that have been set in place since Jimmy was a young man and they signed the Declaration of Independence.
Wow, about that time.
And that don't require public comment. Who shows up to a public comment portion for the post office?
Everybody. Actually, you know who does? A lot of Karens.
A lot of Karens.
I mean, you've been to local government public hearings.
We got to play the postal clip from Chuck and Larry. This is a way to avoid the kind of public comment, is what she's saying, by that not having these public hearings. So we're trying to make sure that the public understands that they need to comment. Wow, that's riveting.
Hello, Ms. Lady.
All right. Lowe's is hiring a union buster Okay. And that's like the big story. That's ranking in Yukon Blog. We already got like 5 million hits, right?
Sure.
Sure. You can tell when we're lying, when my mouth is open. But yeah, we're going to end this show early today, folks, as I'm having issues in New York with shit that I need to get done. But bear with me, okay? Lowe's used to be Never Stop Home Improving.
I don't know.
I
didn't have a Lowe's. I didn't have a Lowe's by me where I grew up, but we had like 4 Home Depots.
Yeah, so Lowe's is a big box store that has put out an ad in your local newspaper asking for a full-time union buster.
Oh, they put it right up on their website.
Oh boy.
I was just there yesterday.
And
I haven't been there in a while.
this is what you do.
Now I can't go anymore?
No, you can.
Son of a...
You can. But here's what you do. You go with a mission. You go to worldfamousyukonblog.com. You take a screenshot of our story. Because if you know how to print out a web page, you figure it out. Jimmy has no idea. Jimmy,
I draw it out. I use ink.
And you make like 10 or 15 copies and you hand them out to people. You actually bring maybe some tape and tape them up in the stalls. And you let security follow you around. And if the guy puts a hand on you, you shank him with whatever you bought.
What if you just do one letter hidden somewhere in the store, like next to the hammers? You just do one set at one at a time.
I'm one step ahead of you. I wish the union that's trying to organize Lowe's would contact me and be like, we like your idea, we like your show. We want your help. We want you to help us get the word out. If we print out a bunch of stickers that have like your Yukon blog title, like tens of thousands with a union bug, UV coated, all that shit. Like these stickers that we've been sending out to people, like the good folks in Coram, New York. Cross that off the list. Then we send them out to our Yukon universe and to our clients and to anyone who fucking asks. And the next time you go to Lowe's, you just put the sticker on product.
I think that's a lot safer.
Then
That way you don't get anybody fired.
Well, I mean, people are going to get fired. They're not union, so don't feel bad about that. They decided to go and work there.
Although I did find out yesterday from Chris Garlick down at the DC Metro Labor Council that
Chris.
Great name.
Lowe's has at least one.
The cool name. Unlike my name.
Yours is very French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garlic. So what were you saying?
Lowe's has at least one union store in upstate New York, in the Rochester area.
Rochester.
That they had bought they'd bought a hardware store, I guess, that was union. And
Rochester.
the contract continued.
I did my internship in Rochester.
They're like your rivals, right?
To Syracuse, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know,
It's like Rochester's
it's like
a real
Kentucky
city.
competing with Tennessee. It's like the standards very low, which is mean because
Buffalo
I
win
still
always?
love home. I still love home, huh? Oh, Buffalo's the bee's knees. So if you put that notice on all the product, it will get somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd put it on like all the expensive shit and the heavy shit that they can't move. Like,
I feel like this should just be the entire show.
Yeah,
That
like
people
ways-
call up with their own ideas.
if you have ways to sabotage Lowe's, give us a call,
Please.
631-969-9599, and we'll send you a fucking sticker.
Yeah.
You got the thing on there?
Yep.
What union do you suggest should take this up?
Teamsters. There's no doubt. Look at the top 10. Did we release the top 10 international unions on our YouTube page yet? And I think the Teamsters ranked up there like number 3 or 4 or 5, or at least in the top 10. Your union was uno más.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, numero uno.
I know. It took a while to get that.
Yeah,
We're holding on to it.
I know. I'm saving it for the big bucks.
People will be glad to hear
But
that.
yeah, I better do it if I want to pay the bills, right?
That top 10 international unions is up on our
It
YouTube.
is. And where's Teamsters? They rank up there, number 7, 6, 5.
Yes, they're
They're up there.
up there.
Well, when we print up
They're
this,
included on the list.
when we print up this stuff that we're going to be dropping in the shit houses of their stores, we could just put a label on it that says Teamsters.
Yeah, for all legal inquiries, contact the Teamsters. Mr. James Hoffa. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Is it? James Jr.?
He goes by James, not Jimmy.
James. You should go by Jimmy.
Well,
Like this, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's an old one.
You know where I stole that from, right?
Yeah.
What movie?
Oh, I thought it was my wife.
It was in Hoffa when Fitz was all hammered, and Hoffa didn't win the nomination to be business manager.
yeah.
And Fitz got all drunk, and he's outside, and he yells, I could probably get sued for not getting permission to use that. I'd rather get sued by Lowe's than the Teamsters, though.
That would be that suing you is on the bottom of the line.
Well, I mean, people sue me all the time.
No money.
I have lawyers for that. So Lowe's has no remorse. They're not like double downing on this at all.
No.
Just like, yeah, we're here to terrorize workers.
Yeah.
So should we tell the audience what happens when people start talking union? I mean, you should know. If you don't know and you're stumbling on the show because Joe Rogan's not on smoking pot with Elon Musk right now, when workers start talking union, they get terrorized by their bosses. That's why I introduced it as a workforce terrorist. They'll call these people in the meetings. Well, they'll tell them, you keep talking union. I'm going to take away your health care. Now, Cindy, doesn't your mother have cancer? Don't you need health care? You don't want to lose your health care, do you? That's what they will tell people. It is terrorism. Hey, what about you? You know, guys, we can't help it. If we have a union here, INS is going to come in, and so is ICE and all these. The IRS will be here. Joe, don't you have tax problem? Carlos, aren't you here illegally? You don't want a union here, do you? Is that a good idea? You know, if your union comes in and we can't afford health care anymore because they force it on us, Cindy, you're banging every dude in town. You're getting an abortion every 20 minutes. You want to keep banging dudes, right, Cindy? I mean, these are the type of things that these union busters do. And it's awful. They'll lie to them. They'll stalk them. They'll send investigators to go to their homes. And they will not talk union with you. I mean, right now, go into any Lowe's and try and watch a grown man who thinks he's tough. I work in the heavy tools department. Well, let's start talking union. He'll shrivel up like a little baby. And it's sad because you want to think that all work gives you dignity. It's true. It's in the fucking Bible. But then when you terrorize them, the devil's on their shoulders saying they shouldn't have a voice at work. They shouldn't make good money. They're nothing but a glorified slave. They start talking union, you really take the dignity out of that work. Mm-hmm. That's why most workers organize, is for dignity. Right, James?
That's right.
James!
Fuck yeah.
Well, and at Lowe's, this position is actually a supervisory position, and it says that they basically have a team around the country of these people who are out there looking for workers talking union. You know, so it's not just like one person who gets called in when they heard that.
I wish we knew where this team of union busters had like their little corporate picnic.
Give them Christmas trees at Christmas?
Well, we could poison their food, not like kill them, but like give them really bad stomach cramps. I mean, we're not saying commit crimes here. What I'm saying is make them shit their pants.
Didn't you show that video that they show?
Yeah,
Yes.
and we got in trouble with YouTube.
Yeah.
Saying we couldn't have it up. But
You could attach a
we
link,
stole
right?
it. We stole it from someone who stole it,
Yeah.
put it on our own channel, and then we got in trouble.
I've found other YouTube channels that have it, so it's linked in the story if you go to uconblog.com.
What else is in this story other than me going on a rant about what union busters do?
Yeah, so they're looking for prospective applicants that have 5 years of union avoidance experience.
So you've had to be a terrorist for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hefty requirement.
And in the job description, it says they want somebody who's going to execute labor relations, guiding principles, and strategies to support and enhance Lowe's union-free philosophy, including providing direction on procedures for handling potential unionizing efforts, and work in partnership with the field HR and location managers to serve as day-to-day monitors of union organizing vulnerability.
I wish that I was more connected with the muckety-mucks and the uppity-ups in industry to see if there's ever been an employer who's had a large organization like this, who's handled an organizing drive in a complete opposite way. And I've heard stories about employers being like, okay, this is what you want, then all right, it's going to be a fair election, you're going to vote it in, we're going to bargain, and we're going to get a contract. But things are going to change. And that's why if I was an employer, I would say no more absenteeism. No more theft. Higher standards. You want me to pay you more? You better be better workers. And I swear to God, you ask me for a Christmas gift, you better make me the most profitable employer in the history of companies. You want a bonus? Well, then fucking earn it.
Yeah.
You want your union? Well, I want to make money. I mean, and unions do not want to put employers out of business. We want to make them money. Mm-hmm. Even in the public sector, we want to keep the services the best that tax dollars could fund. The law enforcement, the healthiest and fairest and safest that tax dollars can fund. Unions are not anti-capitalism. They're pro-capitalism. It's the commies who are anti-capitalism, but the commies, most of them are wealthy enough to be able to afford that way of thought.
Yeah,
right,
I wonder
Jimmy?
if maybe some of those some of those stores and job workplaces that organized in like the 60s and 70s. I know I worked at Modell's, which is a sporting goods store here in New York. Or in the Northeast.
Amazon took them out.
And yeah, unfortunately, they've just closed. But
Amazon's going to take out Dick's too.
Yeah, they were.
That's a sporting goods store in the Northeast, one of my favorite stores.
I believe all their retail employees were organized. They'd been organized for a long time. We had a really, working relationship with the bosses. That was a family-owned company, so I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But we actually got Christmas gifts. We got turkey vouchers every year.
That's cool.
We got them at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But, they had a pretty easy relationship because they understood. The workers were trying to make sure that the store did well. If the store did well, everybody did well.
That's right.
And so, you have some companies like that who I think it was pretty easy.
So
hopefully.
Lowe's, shame on you. This is going to backfire eventually. And I'm hoping that enough people have read the story on UConn blog, are going to download this podcast and listen to it, or are watching now, who are actually going to put their money where their mouth is. Like John Lewis said, get into some good trouble. So if you go in the Lowe's and they have a cart full of $120 worth of fucking shit that you must buy for your house, take it upon your point of personal privilege to talk to the workers while buying, about the powers of being an organized labor. Because if you're a union man or woman and you make good money and you're shopping there and you refuse to say anything, fuck you.
What if we print out shirts that say blows?
And then
you just wear it there and say, go union or go home.
We're going to do a break, but as we go on the break, let me tell you, I was doing an action with the United Food and Commercial Workers in upstate New York, and there was this grocery store that was organizing. We wore bright yellow T-shirts before safety shirts were even in style, that on the front said workers have the right to organize. We all went in with carts. We were given $1. We bought $1 worth of stuff, and the workers just loved it. And the managers ran around like the pieces of shit they are.
Did you return it later?
No, I chewed the gum that I bought, Jimmy. I'm not heartless, motherfucker.
Could have got by me on that.
But that was awesome. That was UFCW Local 1 based in Syracuse, New York. And let's give them a round of applause, because that's what we should all be doing in Lowe's. All right, time for a break, because we only got 30 minutes before I got to get out of here. We got a lot to go over. We're going to talk about how Yes We Can is good for the American worker. Teamsters are striking in Kentucky. The Mets are on the roll. We got the Karen of the week, and we got a sad video of what this COVID-19 will actually do to a child. So get the tissues out. UConn Live with me, Chris LaGrange. News Talk Sports, Workforce Politics. Be right back.
Promotional considerations for UConn Live with Chris LaGrange are provided by the following.
Did you read that story on UConn Blog? UConn Blog is America's fastest growing daily news service, delivering news on progress, sports, entertainment, current events, and workplace politics. Our team of writers and trusted sources weed out the bullshit and get you the stories that you need. With a weekly email and a daily workweek text, you can't find content like ours anywhere else. Designed for the busy activists on the go, that's UConnblog.com. UConnblog.com.
I love New York. We love New York.
We've been stuck inside our homes
while our everyday heroes have been working overtime.
For New York to reopen
and stay open.
We all need to do our part
and show that we care.
Look, man.
I wear a mask to protect you.
You wear a mask to protect me.
Let's all wear a mask
to stop the spread of coronavirus
and save lives.
When we show up in the mask,
we're showing up for each other.
Show your love for New York.
Because New York loves you.
My poncho.
You sound insane.
I sure do. UConn Live with Chris LaGrange. News, talk, sports, workforce, politics, the most controversial labor news show on, in, and around the internet. Kamala Harris. She's a looker. I'll give her that. What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, I think she's a damn good looking.
You should ask her out on a date. What do old people do when they go on dates? They go to the diner early.
Yeah, they sit there and they twiddle their thumbs.
They don't talk to each other because they're just sick of each other.
What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about the...
Well, old people have been together for a while. But Kamala's not that old. What is she, like 43?
I think she's like, 55 or something.
She's sexy for 55.
I am the smartest man alive!
What do you think, James?
James doesn't know who she is.
I'm done saying stupid things.
You sound tired, buddy. All right?
No, I'm good.
You're not showing any. You're not asymptomatic, are you? Your throat hurt?
I just sneezed, but so who knows?
You know, our mailman goes in and out of buildings without gloves or a mask, and doesn't give a fuck. You probably got it from him. No wonder why his wife divorced him.
There's a lot of really nice male people, you know.
I know too. No, you're right. I talked to their union leader about it, and so Kamala Harris, she has a 100% approval rating from the afl-cio, and I'm still sure there's some union that has something to say, some union member that has something negative to say about her, about guns and abortion and the price of tea in China and the baseball that they found on the moon. Fucking idiots in every workforce. They sneak through,
your mouth.
They sneak through the cracks sometime. I want to thank the people from Plymouth Meeting, PA, for asking for stickers. Resend your request because it got bounced back. But it didn't get bounced back from the good people in Keansburg, New Jersey. Tell us about Kamala Harris and why she's the best pick for VP in 2020.
Sure. So she's a co-sponsor of the PRO Act, as well as Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. During the COVID crisis, she's been one of the senators who's been coming out, pushing the Department of Labor to create a COVID-19 OSHA standard.
And they're not listening because we don't run the Department of Labor. But when we run it, we're going to save lives.
Yeah.
Like OSHA was intended to.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the death numbers on construction sites have increased under Donald Trump.
Yep.
So you dumb fucking mouth-breathing construction guys who voted for Trump, yeah, you might not get that mesotheliitis now. What's it called?
Mesothelioma.
You're not going to get it now, but you're going to get it in 10 years, and you're not even going to see your first grandkid's fucking birthday because you voted for Donald Trump, you stupid fucks. Go.
And then when she was attorney general in California...
Oh, look at that. Mortgage fraud.
She created the Mortgage Fraud Task Force. She basically led the fight against the big banks foreclosing on homeowners.
See, she cared about me without knowing. I just sold a house that we bought in 2008. I made $10,000 off it. I had it since 2008. It's 2020. I literally gave a bank tens of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not allowed to flip cop cars over it. God forbid we do.
What's the PRO Act?
The PRO Act is the Protect the Right to Organize Act. So it
the CWA thing.
It does things like eliminate right to work.
Can you believe that, James? I bought it in 2008. I'm making $10,000.
Your house?
My old house.
Oh, your old house. How many houses you got? A lot of houses?
I have 2 houses.
I love it.
I don't want the other one. I'm just going in the contract. I'm fucking pissed. I mean, think about that. 310,000, 260 is what we still owe. Trump. fucking hate him. Go ahead. What else did she do?
She did, her and Beau Biden, who's Joe Biden's son, he was the attorney general in Delaware.
Yeah.
They held out on the settlement with the big banks. The big banks were going to pay $2 billion. Instead, they got $18.4 billion in debt relief and another $2 billion in financial assistance for homeowners who were losing their homes.
Now, the guys in the trades would like this, urging the AG's office to investigate wage theft. So when you, especially in New York, right, or in the Northeast where you have high union density and the union and the trades are progressive and get the job done, what will happen is to skate around paying prevailing wage, they will hire a company that claims to have an apprenticeship program, which they don't. It's a bullshit. It's all on paper. And they can't prove that people graduate. And then they'll pay people, supposedly the prevailing wage, workers from out of state. But they're really not paying that. So you ask for their payroll, which is a private company document, which accountants must produce. Yes, they can doctor it, but boy, I tell you, it takes a while. So AGs, attorney general offices, are supposed to assist union organizers in proving that employers are not paying the prevailing wage. And when they're not, they're supposed to go to jail or get hung or shot at bullet point. I don't know what I'm sure it's not that just, but there is some type of
big fines.
Yes, there's a big fine for a big corporation.
And they have to pay back wages.
That's why your state governor is important, because they will enforce prevailing rate. Prevailing rate is a federal law. Well, so VP Harris knows. So if you're Jimmy Hoffa or Lonnie Stevenson or Terry O'Sullivan with the internationals, and you sit down with Kamala and say, listen, we're having prevailing wage enforcement issues in these certain states, you don't have to explain what that means. She knows.
Yeah.
That's good for a labor leader to know. You dumbasses who think Pence is ever going to sit down with Terry O, fuck you. He's not.
Well, and she also created a direct pipeline between the Wage and Hour Division at the DOL and the state attorney general's office.
That is awesome.
So that they could prosecute these cases faster. They could share information back and forth. And she made these wage theft cases a priority because a lot of attorney generals don't. A lot of attorney generals, they're not sexy cases.
No.
But they're really important cases because she got millions of dollars back for people who were working, minimum wage jobs and not getting paid minimum wage.
And all you dumb teachers who somehow snuck your way through and are teaching children and you're a registered Republican, God, I hope you get fired. I really do. I don't think Republicans belong in the classroom at all. But Kamala Harris has come out with a national plan to pay you assholes more.
Shut your mouth.
And when she was attorney general, she went and she sued the big banks for basically lying about mortgage-backed securities. And the state pension fund for teachers and public employees was invested in these mortgage-backed securities.
Yeah.
And it lost a lot of money. And because of her lawsuit, she was able to recover $1.2 billion. So she was basically able to restabilize the fund after the 2008 crash.
And labor members, if your fund does a bum investment, but you have good people trying, it happens. Bernie Madoff stole so much money from organized labor.
Yeah.
And our funds guys, even though they might not be the ones out there walking the picket lines and coming in on my show being all colorful, they're just as important to the union movement as the rest of us. So when they get jammed up like that because they're good people with good intentions, you need someone to go after the Wolf of Wall Street, and the next vice president of this country is that person who has done just that. Jimmy, what do you think? Any thoughts?
You gotta slow down a little, Chris.
I know. I'm telling you, this
must be that stuff you're drinking.
Starbucks double espresso is killing me. My God, I'm fucking wired right now.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I get you wound up pretty good.
Yeah. Shit.
Work all night with that.
I've never done coke, but if I did, this is what it feels like, huh?
Oh yeah, you're gonna start. Never mind.
Grinding my teeth.
Yeah, banging hookers.
Yeah, right.
I used to grind my teeth without that stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of grind, Teamsters are on strike in Kentucky, huh? That sucks. What's going on there?
So Teamsters Local 89, they work at DSI Tunneling, and they organized with the Teamsters back in November of 2019.
What do they tunnel?
Tunnels.
You don't know.
They make tunnels.
Brian, come on. We put it on our blog and we don't know what they tunnel? Are they making a subway in Kentucky?
No.
No, maybe
Is it the Underground Railroad?
No.
To bring in pot from Mexico?
No, I can guarantee both of those.
Well, and we're staunch journalists here at UCOM. Go ahead.
So they organized in November of 2019, and ever since then, the company has basically refused to bargain with them. They'll call them in a couple times, do some surface bargaining. They'll make them sit there for 2 or 3 hours and not do anything.
Surface bargaining. Let's explain what that is. We gave you some education on prevailing wage. Earlier in the show, we gave you some education on captive audience meetings and union busting that Lowe's is participating in right now. Surface bargaining is when you get after you get your first union election or any union negotiations, collective bargaining, if you will. Employers will go through the motions. They won't even entertain any conversation on wages and benefits. They will go over management rights for weeks. They will go over color of the T-shirts for weeks. It's called surface bargaining. It's a waste of time. It's a tactic. So unless the workforce does something to really push the employer to get to the meat and potatoes, a lot of them get away with it. So what am I saying here? Are you saying, Chris, that the Teamsters deserve this in Kentucky? I don't know. I think we're going to try to get them on next week.
Yeah.
And if they tell me we pulled out everything, we've done buttons, we've done work slowdowns, we've gotten stakeholders involved, we've gotten customers involved, we put up picket lines at their kids' private school, we followed their wife's side pieces around. I mean, okay, you pulled that all out.
Yeah.
Now it's time to strike.
Yeah.
Withhold your labor, because really working people, that's the only power you have. And some industries have given up that power because surface bargaining doesn't exist when you give up that power. In New York, we have the Taylor Law. In other states, you have...
Yeah, other states have similar
laws that say, if the public sector is not bargaining quick enough, your wages and benefits and wage steps are locked in until you get the new deal. So that forces both sides to come to an agreement or binding arbitration, which police officers have in New York and probably in other states where, okay, if the county or the state doesn't want to give us a good deal, let's ask a judge. And it's a good dice to roll because most of the time it rules in the favor of the worker. Most of the time.
Yeah.
But if you don't have binding arbitration, if you don't have the Taylor Law, and you have an employer that does, and you gave up your right to strike, and surface bargaining is taking place, strike's sometimes the only last weapon that you have.
Well, and DSI went and they brought in a union busting firm when they first announced that they were going to organize.
Jackson Lewis?
Then, they didn't say which firm. But then now the union is basically having to negotiate with those same people.
Yeah.
So they're negotiating with people who have no interest in signing a union agreement.
Yeah.
So they went on strike this week.
Yeah. Jimmy, how long does it take to take tires off of a car in the middle of the night? So let's say the union buster's staying at a motel. And it's like 2 a.m. to go and take their tires. Does it take like an hour?
Yeah, take 10 minutes apiece.
Really?
Yeah, it needs cinder blocks.
Cinder blocks. Just giving you some ideas, Teamsters. It's all Kentucky. Oh, man. Yeah. Union avoidance goes online.
That's a good segue.
Oh, Jesus. Can we have anything positive going on? You know what? Before we get into union avoidance.
How about the vice presidential pick for Biden has 100% union rating?
I said that earlier. Yeah. Fucking pay attention.
Well, you asked if we have anything good to talk about today.
Well, we got comments. Here's a comment on Kamala being picked from David Brown Jr. She has lots to say about organized labor. Now the afl-cio needs to have many meetings with her and Joe Emili. We need a seat at the table. That's right, David, and you got one, buddy. This is what Jim McGuire had to say about Kamala being our next VP. I love you already. Vote blue. I love you too, Jim. Does Jim love us or does he love Kamala?
I think he loves Kamala.
And Madeline Decker said, I love that she will be...
I think she meant our new
VP. Biden did a good job. Rock on. No, you rock on, Madeline. But we had some moron comment on the Lowe's Union Buster story. Can you read that shit before I get all pissed again?
I think it's fine if you don't want politics preached at the workplace. Personally, don't want to hear a bunch of Marxist liberals have to say at work. So I don't politicize my workplace. That's for out of work and social media. But no one should be fired for their politics unless it's illegal.
Well, Jules, you should be fired. And if you worked in my Lowe's, I would make sure you were fired. I would. I'd figure out, I'd plant Coke in your locker or something. Jimmy, can you get me some Coke?
Well, you can plant a bumper sticker.
Yeah, like, you know.
Slap it up on a locker door.
Yeah.
Get them fired fast enough. We want unions.
Yeah.
Gotta get them canned.
Yeah, you're right?
Yeah.
I don't like this Jules person. Let's complain about her on Twitter. I do that sometimes and people get put in Twitter jail. It's funny.
Oh, I've been...
Twitter jail,
I've been reporting everybody who is putting out tweets about Kamala Harris not being eligible to be
you're
president.
such an activist. We're gonna do a break because when we come back, we got the video, okay, of the 4-year-old with coronavirus. You have to see this. And so for those of you who are like, I'm willing to risk my kid going back to school, you need to see this video before you put that backpack on him and kiss him goodbye. And also we got the Karen of the week. We're going to talk a little sports. And I got a pretty cool letter from a pretty cool union. And I can't wait to show you guys. You come live with me, Chris LaGrange, News Talk Sports and Workforce Politics, the most controversial labor news show on, in, and around the internet. Be right back.
UConn Live with Chris LaGrange is sponsored in part by
The UConn Media Group is our nation's premier marketing, advertising, and internal union communications consulting service. UComm's award-winning websites, newsletters, texts, and strategic messaging delivers the union value set in a unique and relatable message that really resonates. With affordable rates and proven organizing methods that work, we take a load off your workload. To learn more and set up a consultation, visit ucomworks.com. That's ucomworks.com.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
UCOM Live call-in line, 631-969-9599. Or you could try 631-969-9599. If none of those work, try 631-969-9599.
Jimmy!
They sure don't. You come live with Chris LaGrange, News Talk Sports, Workforce Politics, the most controversial labor news show on, in, and around the internet. I want to thank the good folks of Brook Park, Ohio, and Weatherford, Texas, for requesting these awesome UConn blog, Union Made in the USA stickers, complete with the bug. We put a picture up of one of you guys who sent it, put on your hat. And we haven't put up Harold, put it on his bicycle helmet.
I mean, he is from Portland, or the Portland
I don't know
area.
what that means. Someone tried putting Portland down to me the other day, saying they don't own their own homes. What the fuck are they talking about?
People in New York City don't own their own homes.
I mean, anyway, so
Portland just
Portland's
has a
weird.
Yeah, that's
Portland-
basically their reputation.
Let's get weird in Portland. That's a cool shirt.
Yeah.
If you can organize a picnic, you can organize a union. That's a better shirt. So I said when we come back, we would talk about, what did I say? Whatever.
Shut up, Dave!
Jackson Lewis is this union-busting law firm. They specialize in workforce terrorism. Nobody who works there, not even the janitor, is going to heaven. They're all going to fucking hell. And they could care less because they're probably not have an ounce of divinity or faith in them. And really, they're just awful, disgusting people. One of the scumbags is running for Congress.
He actually lost on Tuesday.
Oh, he did? Did he lose big?
Yes.
Did he lose an arm?
No.
Ah, shit.
And then he lost the primary.
He lost the primary, yeah.
He lost an election, not his arm, Jimmy.
That's the primary. Unless he's got a secondary arm.
But Jackson Lewis is doing these virtual Zoom meetings on how to terrorize workers.
Yeah.
We don't have any of it.
We don't have actual footage from it. No.
Well, how the fuck do we get footage?
You're gonna send me in. We're gonna do a bogus.
Yeah, we have to
we're
sign
gonna
up.
do a bogus resume for me, and I'm just gonna be a prick. I'll fit right in, and we'll I'll get all the video.
You gotta shave your beard.
Sure.
Well, that's all.
Tell us more.
So Jackson Lewis is doing these for tech executives because the CWA is
Organizing.
Yeah, they're running a campaign called Code to organize these guys. So Patrick Egan, who's a principal at Jackson Lewis, he led the webinar. He started by saying, that organizing in tech is different than other organizing that's gone on. Tech workers tend to want more of a voice in sort of how the company is going.
They tend to be more intelligent. They tend to. I'm not saying they are.
And a lot of
like
them,
we had that intern for 4 minutes.
Mhm.
You would think he was smart, and he was dumb as a box of rocks.
Yeah.
But like Patrick Egan was saying, these are workers saying that we don't like that we're helping ICE.
Yeah.
So that means they have a heart.
Well, and a lot of these guys are getting paid pretty decent amounts. Even at subcontractors, they may be getting paid $60,000, $70,000 a year. So pay isn't necessarily their issue. Maybe it may be time.
It's dignity.
It's dignity.
Yeah.
It's also.
Do you think I could get away with talking? Know the way I fuck with you all the time?
Mm.
Do you think that if I was a big tech company and I talked to people like that with the union, I would get away with that?
You might, because the tech industry does have a reputation for being very broy. So some of that stuff.
The fuck's that supposed to
What's
mean?
brilliant? That's what they use to
Skippy
wipe
said
a
don't
pen.
curse anymore. Sorry, Ryan.
Well, companies like Google, for a long time, they were like
Ryan's
90%.
like moral oral right now. He's praying.
Really? That's
a lot of
that's
tech
like,
companies had the reputation for being like 90% male.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's not fun.
Cleans
I
the
work with
fryer.
a bunch of dudes. That's not fun at all. He told themselves unattractive to organize by, what is that?
Yeah, he said to make the companies unattractive for the organizers. So
make it look like you have no money.
Make it look like you have no money, but also fix things that are wrong. Fix issues in your workplace.
I mean, that's the ultimate way to keep a union out, is to treat your people well.
Yeah.
To pay them well.
Yeah.
To give them a seat at the table. Then we won't need. If it was a perfect world, we wouldn't need unions.
Well, there was a Morgan Spurlock. He did a CNN show. I forget what it was called, but he did one on unions, and he sat down with a union buster, and the lawyer said, the first thing I always tell companies that come in here that need our services, you did this to yourself. You deserve it. Always.
Maybe I would like that guy. Because look at it. Let's look at it this way. My God, we're going on and on and on. If you're an insurance lawyer and you protect the insurance companies, you're telling your boss, your insurance company, you must pay because you promised this person who got hurt that we would take care of them. And the personal injury lawyer coming after you is reminding you of that. So you put on a show in front of the hurt worker, the hurt driver, or the hurt whoever, and the insurance carrier, the owner, the homeowner, the whoever. But behind closed doors, you're like, we have an obligation, as an insurer and an insuree to make this right. The show is strictly it's just a show for the courts. Same thing with union busting here, right?
Yeah.
It could be. Like, you did this to yourself. If you treated your people better, you paid them better, we wouldn't be at this problem. So fucking do it. So maybe when they walk away, the workforce is happier. But then the union buster's like, there's old Jimmy, up to no good again.
Yep.
Finger banging secretaries and taking away health care from mothers with kids with cancer. Boom. Back to organizing again.
Yeah.
I want to get a copy of this video. That'd be awesome.
But Egan also told them to identify employees that they want in the bargaining unit, ones they want not in the bargaining unit, and then start promoting, demoting, firing people based on that. Because he said, once organizing starts at your job, you can't really change them anymore.
That's right. The NLRB is restructuring to ensure that they don't earn their paycheck. Okay.
Yep.
That's the story. In the West Coast?
Basically, they're just taking cases in the West Coast and reassigning or taking away the power for regional directors to assigning them to different regions so that investigations get slowed down. And they're taking staff and reassigning them out of the Western Division into division or regions that are less popular.
Jimmy, did you know that the American Federation of Government Employees, they have a new leader because the last guy was like sending his dick pics around. So they have a new leader now, and they just have a big win. And what is that?
I don't know.
The vacuum cleaner. I've been hearing them back here the whole time.
Is it in the other room, or is it upstairs?
Upstairs.
So if you can hear
Or it's
that,
down the hall.
that's a vacuum cleaner.
I don't think they can hear it.
So, okay, you can't. Well, we can. So did you know that at the Environmental Protection Agency, their union won a big fight against Donald Trump?
Well, maybe they wanted to get the smell out of it.
Jimmy. Okay.
Well, let's face it, he stinks, don't he?
Yeah. Are you sure the audience can't hear that?
I think it's a
Yeah,
bother.
you can't hear it in your headphones, so they can't hear it.
I heard it in my headphones.
I think I do
totally
too.
heard
All right,
it.
then maybe if you can hear it in your headphones, then
Then you guys are
then they can
hearing
hear
what
it.
a vacuum cleaner sounds like. We got to remind our neighbor upstairs that 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is not the time to do house cleaning.
Yeah, give the people off.
Yeah.
Give
Can you
them the hour
wait
to
till
go.
5:30?
Yeah. Let them go have
How
a beer.
dare you? She'll pull a Karen on me. Thinking of, here's the Karen of the Week video. Let's go ahead and play that. You ready?
You guys being challenging people.
Or not.
One second, Chris.
This is okay, guys. This is the Worldwide Wild. This is what happens.
Give me 1 second.
While he's getting that all set up, I wanted to take this point to say that I got this cool letter. Right? Can you see it here? Can folks see it? Oh, wait. What?
Making sure that people's constitutional.
Let me restart it, Chris, all right?
All right. Well, hold on.
Amateur hour
Don't
right
do
now.
it yet. Don't do it yet. Let me get through this point, and then you can. Oh, okay. So I got this letter, right? And it's from the Oakland Police Officers Association. I'm like, oh, fuck.
You were really scared.
I wasn't scared. I made you open it because, you know.
Because you thought it was anthrax.
No, why would they do that? They are supposed to protect us from folks like that. Where's my dog? Oh, no, it's the cops. So I'm like, oh, no, it's the cops. So I get it. I'm like, this is either really good or really bad.
Was it a ticket? Come see us sometime?
Maybe. So you get it. It says Oakland Police Department. And I open it up and boom. Holy crap. One of their sharing coins. You know how in the IBEW, when you guys have convention, you have pins?
Yeah.
Well, police unions, they do coins. And I got a bunch because I know cops and I work for them. And even though I'm critical, I'm also a fan at times. And it says, Chris, it's the cops. Love your show. Can you send some stickers? Sergeant Barry Donlin, president of the Oakland Police Officers Association, and he put his address. So, of course, I'm going to send you guys a bunch of... Oakland?
Are they a union?
And I kept thinking, yeah, but it's a union.
It says association on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they have collective bargaining rights. It's not the FOP in New York. They hand out, like, Lowe's stickers and shit.
Think that's a bug in that coin?
It could be. But we're going to keep it right here so they can listen every week in case they're out in the beat protecting the streets. It's Oakland Progressive. It's California.
Yeah, it's pretty progressive.
Cool.
It's right across from San Francisco.
Thank you, guys. I'm definitely going to send you some stickers. I was guesting on a baseball team full of cops. And my God, these guys were killing the ball. and just natural athletes, and I was the only one on the team that struck out.
Did you win?
We won like 19-5. But yeah.
And they kept you?
No, they told me after, listen, you're not good enough for this team, so thanks, but no thanks. But they were nice guys.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I mean, they're stellar athletes. And then there's me. I mean, I played for the Marlins for an inning and didn't work out. Speaking of baseball, McNeil dove into the wall head first.
Yep.
And he's hurt.
Yeah, they're not sure what's wrong with him yet, but...
he's all right. He was walking, right? His legs were moving and shit, right?
Well, he stood up and then collapsed, and then they put him on the cart, and he was in obvious pain. But
he's obviously concussed.
It looked like, it looked like he got a concussion versus like breaking an arm. He was moving his arms definitely. So,
Strasburg
got thrown out from Section 121.
Oh, let's go back to Oakland. Oakland Police. You probably know this. One of the managers was doing a little Nazi sign.
Accidentally.
It was accidental?
They kind of caught him. He was going to do a high five, and the camera caught him with his arm up like that.
I thought that's why the bench is cleared.
No.
Because the guy was doing a Nazi sign.
That was
and the Astros took offense.
I'm going to screenshot that, Chris.
That was a different situation. That was the guy on the A's.
I know.
He'd gotten hit twice, and then the manager said something.
There's going to be fighting in baseball because they can hear each other. They can hear everything they say, and
I feel like ejections have to be way up this year because the umpire can hear everything that they're saying in the dugout.
That's part of the sport. It's awesome.
Is that covered by the stealing signals app?
No, they have a new rule about stealing signals, Jimmy. You got to pay attention to our show.
I haven't stolen any signals in quite a while.
I'm giving you some privilege now. The Northeast has got their panties in the bundle with the power outage. It's been like 10 days, and some Karens just can't plug in their cell phone. Is this Karen of the Week video have anything to do with power outage?
No, it has to do with the Freedom to Breathe Agency.
Okay, can we play the Freedom to Breathe Agency video right now, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
That you guys been challenging people on these subjects. Okay, so we have it at TBA, the Freedom to Breathe Agency. We are We the People organization, making sure that people's constitutional rights, civil and federal laws are not broken. Okay, and so you personally need to take this to your manager because you personally can be sued for this. Okay.
I'm just following the store policy.
I'm telling you, you have probably paid.
Is the lady Filipino?
Or $12
I can't see it.
Okay?
No, it's up now.
Wow. Yeah, you have a delay on yours.
Oh, okay.
You personally.
Wow.
Okay.
They need to get the fuck out of here.
God, she's disgusting.
Okay, you guys need to be careful.
She sounds like Milana.
Yeah, I think she's Eastern
She's some type of
European.
Eastern European. Where she comes from, they euthanize Catholics and Muslims.
Yeah.
Every time there's a bad guy in a movie, it's an Eastern European. Or Central, I don't know. We can't tell the difference in America. Look at that tat she's got. It's like the seeing eye.
I think you're a little turned on right now, Chris.
Actually, I take it back. She's not that bad for a very disgusting Karen. Man, these people.
And just to be clear, the Freedom to Breathe Agency is not an official government agency.
That lady has...
That's what they're trying to portray themselves as.
No man has touched that poor woman in like 20 years. That's what happens, gentlemen. That's what happens. Jimmy, point of personal privilege as we end the show. Northeast is out of power. It's taking us a while. We know because we work for the union exactly why. And that will come out when the commissions and all the politicians who are grandstanding for votes are going to get their day in the sun, and they can flat out say the reason why it took forever for the guys to get to where they needed to go. Whereas in storms past, it was easier. But what message do you have for all the guys working storm? Now, you were a relay tech.
Well, I was a relay tech for about 7 years, and then I was in overhead lines for 7 years. Then I became a relay tech for the balance of my 40. And I did two major storms. I did Gloria.
What's on your hat?
Well, that's the other storm.
I can't see.
It says that's Floyd.
Floyd in 1989.
1999.
1999.
And that wasn't a major storm, but it was just enough to make us some nice overtime.
And some hats?
And hats, yeah. You don't get storms. You don't get hats for every storm.
You know it's a storm when you get a hat out of it.
Yeah, that's a storm. A lot of ones they even catalog these not storms, but I forget what they call them now. The lesser storms.
Tropical storms.
Yeah. But anyway, Gloria.
Just like that shirt.
I
love it.
Looks like Rick Moranis stealing all the pot in Paradise Island.
This was given to me right after the storm.
But Jim, you got a message for the guys and gals working this right now, and it kind of seems like they're down in the dumps and everyone's mean and mad at them.
Yeah, they know they're doing the best they can, and if I tell them I was through both of those storms. One I was still a full-time employee, and in the other one I was a retired employee.
Mm-hmm.
In the first case, I chased around a crew of 10 trucks and 20 men from up in the Allegheny Mountains in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Okay. Allegheny is a battleground county for the upcoming election.
Yeah, and they're regular
You didn't
guys.
do a good enough job.
Oh, why? Did they have problems after
Because now it's a battleground. They should be solid blue.
Oh, we weren't talking politics back. There was nothing to bunch them up again. There was no Trump around.
There was no social media. There was barely an internet.
Yeah. So I just want to tell you guys, you're doing the right thing. You've done the best you can. I wouldn't let that stuff bother me. Don't get yelled at. I got yelled at a couple times. I walk up, I pull up to a house in my pickup truck with a ladder, just a ladder. And this guy's got no lights. And I looking around, I says, I only got a ladder that won't reach up to the wire, the first set of wires. And I says, I can't do it. I says, and besides, there's no power in the line. You want me to attach your line too? What's going to happen? So I had to pull away from there, and as I pull away, he was cursing at me. So what am I going to do? If there's no secondary, if the secondary's dead, I can't put up a bank. I can't put up a transformer. That's it. You did the best you could. Just get the hell out of the area.
There you go, folks. Here's an old-timer who's been there and done that. They're working as hard as they can, as fast as they can. If you're one of these folks, one of these Karens who's complaining that you can't charge your cell phone, fuck off. But if you have a kid who is on a ventilator, like the video you're about to see, James, get that ready. The utility knows. And it's up to you to ensure that you have backup generation and that you are installing it and using it the right way. But you need to see this video before we go, because I would be remiss to just let this go by my feed and not share it again. Those of you who have children, me and Jimmy do, we look at this differently. Those of you who don't, I'm not saying you're anti-child, but it's different when it's your own. So, James, you ready to play this?
I hope we don't have that issue again, but we'll get it going regardless.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Cross our fingers.
Mom, good job. I think I don't feel so good.
You could just see every muscle he had trying to get the air in and out. As a parent, I was just focused on trying to stay calm while he was having a coughing spasm. Hey, buddy, you're doing great. Those are really good coughs. As a doctor, the medical terms are retractions, where you can see the muscles between the ribs moving. You can see the belly kind of breathing and indentations underneath the ribs. So as a doctor, I could see those medical things happening. And as a mom, it's just gut-wrenching, right? I know he's working hard to breathe. I know we're doing everything we can do. I know he's in a good place getting support, but he just keeps getting worse. Because he was so sick, we knew he was going to be kind of a rule-out COVID patient where they're concerned about it and they send all the testing. So it was him and I in a room,
and it was him and I in a room. And once I went in the room, I wasn't allowed to leave. Well, I was allowed to leave, but then I couldn't come back. And that wasn't an option for me. He's 4, he's scared, he's sick. And so it was him and I in a room. I don't really know how to explain what that feeling is like when you and your child, who is getting worse every single hour, are in a room, just the two of you.
So those of you who are not of means, who need to get to work and don't have childcare and are really hoping they open the schools, I know, and you're a good parent and you're a good worker and you're a good community. I know that you don't want that to happen to your kid, and you're being told by anyone who is, has a horse in this race that a very small percentage of kids are going to get sick. But how can you live with yourself if you do that to your kid and God forbid your kid doesn't make it? Kids are dying. Teachers are going to die. In New York State, we are expecting, according to the numbers, 300 teacher deaths going into the school year. So I feel for you, those who don't have means, but I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that my kids don't get sick. I have some neighbors who claim to be left-leaning. Again, they have means, their parents gave them money to buy a house. They're kind of left. They're kind of working class. They have kids who are not as healthy and strong as mine. And if this happens to them, you're going to see a different type of libtard. Teachers are going to die, folks. So as you're going online to your Facebook mom groups and commanding that they go back to work, you are literally killing your neighbors. So I'm going to leave you with that. You fucking assholes. We are not ready to go back to school. We do not have a vaccine. We have a madman in the fucking White House. There's still tear gassing people in Portland. And you're going to do that to your child. So you see a video like that, you share it because we need to educate folks. All right, that's enough. Good enough show. Let's clap as we leave with a kid dying. Boy. So remember, the only crime that you commit is the crime of doing nothing. So get off your ass and go do something, or make room in your heart for the working poor, because guess what? The rich can never be trusted. And guess what? You need to care more about your kids, like that one we just saw, and your community, and less about your guns, because your fucking gun will never love you back. Thanks for stopping by, America. Thank you for pitching in and asking for stickers for all the good people in Wilmington, Massachusetts. You come live with me, Chris LaGrange. We will see you next week.